Hello, I'm sending this to the friends that I told about the cooking. We got one egg in a pan with vegetable oil in it. I'm gonna crack the second egg. Use a small pan. Wash my hands. So now you can put whatever you want in it. I prefer some pepper. Not too much though. And then salt. I could only find fine grounded salt, but just a bit, not too much. We don't want to make this unhealthy. All right. Then you want to get a spatula or whatever you want to use to flip your eggs around. You're gonna want to chop up the yolks a bit so it can spread around a bit, I guess. Okay. Then you want to turn on your stove. You're gonna put on a pretty low flame. On mine, it reads it's 2 or 3 or something. It's a low flame. You don't want to overcook it. So then you're gonna let that cook for a while, and yeah, I will film the second video as soon as it's ready. Oh, never mind. Hold on, almost forgot. Then you want to take 2 pieces of bread. And you want to toast them for a little bit. It doesn't matter how much you want it toasted. That's up to you. And I'm just gonna leave that in there. I will toast it later. And then you're just gonna want to watch your eggs and make sure they don't burn or anything. Okay. So you might hear the sizzling. Your egg may develop some weird bubbles. I personally don't like to let them grow too much. So pay attention here, especially with the open flame and everything. Now this part is also kind of up to you. It depends on how much you want it cooked. But you also want to make sure it doesn't stick to the pan. I don't have to worry about that exactly yet because it's so early on. But every now and then, just take your spatula and just move it along the rim of the pan, just to prevent sticking. It'll also help you get a feel for it when you need to flip it. And you're gonna let that sit for a little bit. And every now and then, just lift it up and check and see if it's to your liking. It's subjective. I prefer a little bit more yellow, like a little bit more cooked. You'll see in a bit. The bread is still in the toaster. I'm gonna start toasting it now. It also depends on how much you want it toasted. I'm doing these at the same time, so it's multitasking. Make sure you have it on a good timer though, so that you don't end up getting scattered around trying to do multiple things at once. So, some of the ingredients that you might want around is some cheese, preferably sliced cheese because it's easier, but whatever you have, and some lunch meat because it's simple. I prefer ham, but if you want, you can use turkey. I just think the ham tastes better with the egg. So, it's better to get your ingredients out early so you don't end up, again, scrambling to do all sorts of different stuff. So I'm gonna get the ham out now and put it on a plate. Because when I need to, I'm gonna put it on the pan after the egg is done. Let's check on the egg now. It's getting a little bit more solid. Not quite ready yet. I'll check in a second when I need to flip it. Okay, now the egg is closer to being ready. So just check under, and I think I'll flip it now. Just like a patty. It might look a little weird, but don't worry. It's cooking perfectly fine. So, here's the egg right now. It's currently cooking. This is all perfectly good and crisp. Not crisp, like not crunchy, but you know, it's cooked. Now, periodically, you'll want to check on your toast, make sure it's toasting to your liking. And then just watch the egg. It will take less time on the bottom to cook than the top. So just be a little bit more aware on this part, because this is where you're gonna want to, be aware of your surroundings a little more. You can pat it down if you want. I do it. You don't have to. And periodically, you're gonna want to check on it and see when it's ready. Also, it's handy if you have a toaster oven, so you can look through the glass and see. It's toasting, but it's not ready yet. So let's check on this egg. Not quite ready yet. It needs a few more seconds, maybe 30 seconds or so. Look at the bread. It's getting golden brown. Not quite yet though. So again, make sure you have your ingredients. Make sure you have a plate too for the meat and the cheese, and so you can flip the egg on it and just assemble your sandwich. All right, the toast has been toasted to my liking. Take out your toast and put it on the plate. Here comes the more tricky part. Okay. So when the egg is done and you are ready to put it on the sandwich, keep it steady, flip it onto your bread. Boom. Got a nice cooked egg. Now, if this is all you want to do, that's perfectly fine. I'll show the next part now. Now, after you've rinsed off any egg residue that you do not want on there, take your 2 or 1 or however many slices you want, place it on the pan. Make sure you have room so that you can adjust the position if you want. It's not necessary, but it's always handy. But make sure it's not too much over the edge because it will curl a little bit. That's fine. All right. Turn your heat up to how much ever you want. I like to cook it fast, so I'm gonna turn it up high. Try not to turn it back on the flame too much, but right now, since it's close, I will put my bread back in the pantry. Now, just wait for the sound of sizzling. You don't have to flip it unless you want to. I sometimes flip it. You hear that? Now adjust the flame to however you want it. That's completely up to you, to your pace. That's going to sizzle for quite a bit. Okay. Move it around if you want. You don't have to. Now flip it around. Again, completely dependent on what you want. Now, you can cook this to however you want. I like to make it a little bit more browned, but not too crisp. Smells amazing. So, that's about cooked to my liking. You can turn off the flame now if you want. I'll let it sit for a second. And that's perfect. So next, easy part, you'll simply grab your pan and just kind of slip the ham or turkey onto your egg. Boom. Crisp brown ham. Now, with the next part, get your cheese. You might want to be a little bit faster for this part. Get your cheese. slap it on the pan. The pan will be nice and hot and will start to melt the cheese a bit. So watch it, because you don't want the pan to get too sticky with cheese. Alright. And then you'll just get your cheese. Just put it on your ham or turkey. And that is the final step. Make sure you clean your pan early because the cheese will stick. But here it is. Finished product. It looks messy, but it's delicious. Cheese, ham, egg, toast. Drink orange juice if you want, or nothing. It's a perfect standalone meal, and it's not super unhealthy. Take your cheese pan, rinse it off. You want to clean it so that the cheese doesn't get too sticky, because then you're going to have to scrape it off, and that is very undesirable. Once you've got that done, take your beautifully made sandwich, sit down, and enjoy.